Hey guys, Xuen here to bring you today a MistWeaver video, and this video is going to be involving everything that comes to MistWeaver healing, and this is going to be a beginner's guide for BGs and RBGs. I'm not going to do arenas yet because I haven't got that strategy down quite well, and it's just the positioning. The positioning is really hard in 3v3s as a healer. I tried doing healers in 3v3s, and I actually will say that I respect healers more in 3v3s than I did. Not saying that I never respected healers, but again, in this video I'll be going over just about everything that comes down to MistWeaver healing. This is going to be a beginner's guide, so it's going to be cooldown management, mana management, glyphs, gems, reforging, everything that comes to MistWeaver healing, so it can help improve your game style and gameplay performance. If you guys already have a solid strategy down, make sure, if this helps, make sure you add on to your strategy and take my ideas. I mean, I know that everyone's game style and gameplay is different, so again, hope you guys enjoy this video, hope it helps. Check out SMK, there's going to be a link to their channel at the end of the video. Give them support for me, so check them out, subscribe to them. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy this footage, and hope to see you next time. Take care, guys. What's up, guys? So first, before we go into the actual BG footage, so I can talk about the rotations and positioning strategies, let's first talk about the glyphs, the talents, the reforging, and all that stuff, and the gems. So forgive me if I'm stuttering a little bit. I have not got much sleep, and I am not reading a script, so let's get started. So the talents that I chose are pretty straightforward, so let's talk about each of these talents. The first bracket, the 15 bracket, which is Clarity, Tiger's Lust, and Momentum, I generally like to choose Tiger's Lust. Now, to me personally, I believe that the first bracket is all preference, so just try them all out. I urge you to try them all out so you can see what fits your game style and gameplay best. But I like Tiger's Lust because you can dispel things like Hunter roots and Warrior roots, and those are really helpful as a healer, or if you want a paralysis and then just quickly get away and save your rolls. So the next talent that I actually chose was Chi Wave. Now, I've been choosing Chi Wave ever since it's been released, and I just find it a little bit more useful than the other two talents. Now, I'm also going to be going into a glyph really quick that I used to use in 5.1, but I no longer use, because this whole bracket, ever since 5.2, they changed it, so you no longer have to spend Chi in order to use these talents. So that brings me to the glyph of Uplift. Now, Uplift is an ability that a MistWeaver has that for each target with your Renewing Mist, it's like an instant cast heal that heals for like 50k for all the targets that are affected with your Renewing Mist. Now, in 5.1, I found that I was actually taking this because I found that it was quite difficult to actually keep track of using your Chi with Enveloping Mist, Uplift, and then Chi Wave. So since Chi Wave no longer requires Chi, you can use Uplift and you can stack Mana Tea faster, so I do not take that because it does use up a ton of mana. 6% mana might not seem like a lot, but it is a ton of mana, and it's really hard to manage your mana as a MistWeaver. I'm still experimenting with this. If you're asking why I have this glyph, it's because I was just having fun knocking people off in arenas. But these two other glyphs are a must. Glyph of Mana Tea allows you to kind of use your Mana Tea on the go without having to stop and drink. And now PvE, I'm not quite sure if you want to take this or not, because this does make you stack Mana Tea slower, but I will let you guys know that in the future. Or if you guys already know, leave a comment below. So, Glyph of Light Cocoon is the must-have glyph. You have to have this no matter what. This is a cookie-cutter glyph down to the wire, and you can probably see why. You can use this while you're Hunter Trapped, you can use this, I believe, while you're Cycloned, you can use this while you're basically any type of CC'd, you can use Life Cocoon, which is so helpful, guys. So those are basically the glyphs. I mean, still experimenting. I think that you can take Zen Meditation, that's also a really helpful glyph. So yeah, Zen Meditation is really helpful, especially while moving, because like in arenas you could probably like jump out so you're not LOS to grab a spell, then go back, and then yada yada, if you guys can see where I'm going with that. Back to the glyphs, and not the glyphs, but the talents. I'm sorry, not reading script, guys. But the next talent tier, which is the 45 tier, which is Power Strikes, Ascension, and Chi Brew. Now, I've seen some MistWeavers take Chi Brew, however, I find it more useful to take Ascension. Back when MoP was released, this used to be such a hard talent tier to pick from, because Ascension didn't have the maximum mana and the maximum energy regain. It was just increase your Chi by 1. So, like, I found a lot of people choosing between all these talents, even myself. But ever since they added those 2 passive abilities, I believe that's a really good talent to take regardless of what spec you are in. So let's move on. Ring of Peace. Ring of Peace, I believe, is the best talent to take in RBGs. However, in arenas, I know that you're going to be switching these 2 out. Do not take Charging Oxwave unless you're doing PvE, guys. I do not see how people can take that for PvP, considering that if you're a really good player, that is a very easy thing to avoid. And plus, the fact that you have to aim it as a player does not really sit well in my book, especially for PvP. That just does not work. So take Leg Sweep or Ring of Peace. I personally find Ring of Peace more effective in BGs and RBGs because if you guys have seen Ring of Peace in BGs and RBGs, you guys know how much it pisses people off, and I know I've been pissed off by it several times. It needs to be nerfed, Blizzard, if you are watching this video for some apparent reason. Hint hint. But I'd usually take Ring of Peace. It is annoying against DKs. So, Ring of Peace. The next talent tier I like to take Dampen Harm. Now, I generally don't take Diffuse Magic unless I'm running arenas, depending on the comp, but Dampen Harm, ever since 5.2, they added a passive thing that allows you to use it while stunned, and that is really helpful, especially if your trinket is down and like a rogue's on you. That really does help. So I generally like to take Dampen Harm no matter what the comp, in a BG or an RBG. So the last talent is Chi Torpedo. Now, in an BG or an RBG, I find that Chi Torpedo is really helpful because you can use that while silenced. There's 2 things why you can use while silenced, guys. It's your Spinning Crane Kick, which heals for a minor amount, and you can also use Chi Torpedo. In this, I've actually been crit healed with a Chi Torpedo for 80 to 90k before, so that really helps. In a 2v2 or 3v3 situation, you can take Invoke Xuen depending on how geared you are, so keep that in mind. Alright guys, let's look into the reforging and gemming, and then we will move on to the rotations and the BG footage. So the reforging priorities for a MistWeaver is first crit, then haste, then mastery. Now, mastery is really good, but it does scale really high, and even with a low percent of mastery, like probably around 12% of mastery, you still will summon a ton of healing spheres, so do not worry too much about that. Alright, let's move on to the gem, guys. So the gems that you're going to want, so for your yellow socket, you're going to want to put a mystic gem in there for full 320 PvP Resil. The next gem is going to be a blue socket, and you're going to put a green gem in there. It's called Turbid Wild Jade. It's going to be for 160 Spirit, 160 PvP Resil. Moving on to red sockets is going to be the Brilliant Gem, which is 160 Intel. And then finally finishing off with a Meta Gem, which is the Ember Meta Gem for 216 Intel and then 2% max mana. Now please keep in mind that doing RBGs and BGs, PvP power for MistWeavers isn't the best thing to take over these other gems. I do not know about any other classes, but this is just for MistWeavers, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to roll through the battleground footage and show you guys a few positioning strategies and some rotations, so hope you guys enjoy. See you there. Alright guys, let's go into the basics first. So first things first, what to do when you enter a team fight. Now the first thing that you generally want to do when you enter a team fight is put your Jade Serpent statue down right away. After that's done, if you can get a Transcendence off, try to do that right away. And generally, what I mean, if you can get a Transcendence off, that means if no one's taking a ton of damage where you can afford to use a global cooldown for like 1 second without healing. So put your Transcendence down and then immediately move away from it. So just in case you get CC'd or you get focused, you can quickly Transcendence away to get some heals off and then kite. So, now that we got that down, let's move on to a quick little beginner's rotation. Alright guys, let's talk about just a little bit of a small rotation here. Now to be honest, MistWeaver rotation kind of revolves around what's going on at the time. So it's not just one thing and then that's it. So it's actually kind of complicated, and I urge you guys to practice this strategy because it's going to be helpful if you ever run RBGs. So the strategy that I found most useful, now a lot of MistWeavers, what they'll do is they'll just straight up channel Soothing Mist, and that's a big mistake. If you straight up channel Soothing Mist, you're going to be very susceptible to silence. Now a way to avoid this is to use things that you can do on the go. Like for example, what I like to do when I enter a team fight or any fight in general is I won't just straight up channel Soothing Mist. Not only will it save me mana, it will allow me not to be susceptible to silence and CC. So what I'll do is I'll channel Soothing Mist, then stop after I get like 1 chi, or I'll channel Soothing Mist for a few seconds, then stop, I'll jump, and I'll strafe. And this will interrupt and it will save me mana. What I'll do while I'm strafing or jumping is I'll throw off something like a Chi Wave, or I'll throw something off like a Healing Sphere, or a Chi Torpedo. I'll do stuff that I can do on the go. And then when I'm comfortable, or if I have my Thunder Focus Tea, and if you have your Foresight, you're immune to silence, if I'm comfortable with that, then I'll be able to channel Soothing Mist freely, and then get my Enveloping Mist on my target, or uplift multiple targets depending if all my friends are taking damage, or all my teammates. I love you all, so you all are my friends, no matter if you're Alliance or Horde, because I play both. Happy face. But again, I urge you to try this out. Just try finding some random person that's AFK or something, and just channel Soothing Mist, then jump, and just practice that. And then, when you go into BGs, then you'll be even better. So just try that out, guys, I urge you to. So let's move on to the just general positioning for team fights and LOSing strategies. So I will see you there. Alright guys, let's go on to the last few topics here. So the last few topics basically are just being aware of your surroundings and then mana management. Mana management is kind of a whole another breed of itself. Now, it's pretty tricky to manage your mana as a Mistweaver. Now, what I found that a lot of Mistweavers tend to do, and why they run out of mana so fast, is because they spam Surging Mist. Now, Surging Mist is your strong heal. It heals for a lot, but it costs a lot of mana. So it's really not good to spam that. So what happens if like someone's getting pressured to be like, oh my gosh, I have to heal him, and then they spam Surging Mist. And that's really not a good strategy because you'll run out of mana really fast. It really boils down to how much you trust your HOTS. Now, you'd be surprised about how much Enveloping Mist heals for. So what I would do, and this is kind of a dick move, but in regular battlegrounds, once you get a hold of a good rotation, and then you get a hold of the strafing and the jumping and stuff, what I would try doing is if someone's like around 35% health, I would try channeling Soothing Mist and then Enveloping Mist, and then just keep channeling Soothing Mist on them and see how much it heals for. It actually might even keep them up. The only real time that you'll need to use Soothing Mist or even spam it is if someone's taking a ton of damage from multiple targets, like say 3 warriors are bursting them down and they need some heals. Like, to be honest, a single target, even if they pop cooldowns, you could probably still keep them up with the Soothing Mist and Enveloping Mist single target. So keep them in mind and just try it out. Now the last thing I wanted to talk about is positioning. Now positioning is pretty easy to do. All you have to do is be aware of your surroundings depending on where you are. So if you are near a place that you can LOS, and if you guys don't know what LOS is, it's line of sight. So for example, if I was in an arena and I ran behind a pillar and someone was trying to cast a Cyclone on me, and I ran behind the pillar before they could do it, that was LOS'd and I could not get Cyclone. So keep that in mind. So if you see a place that you can LOS, it's really good as a Mistweaver to put up a Transcendence there just in case you need to heal up really quick. So if you're getting really pressured and you get really low on health, you could Transcendence back there, and it'll take a while for the team to catch up to you, so you could free cast for a couple seconds and get yourself up. Now, one thing to do if you're getting pressured is that if you're getting pressured and you do not want to channel, a good thing to do is to spam like stuff like Healing Spheres on the ground on yourself. They don't cost that much mana, and it's something to do so you do not get silenced and you don't have to channel. If you have to channel, you get susceptible to silence, and then that equals death. So keep that in mind, guys, and just try all this stuff out. Now try all these strategies out. Don't try them all at once. Just try working on it and then try moving on to the next level. Now this is just a beginner's guide. I'll be coming out with a little bit more of an advanced guide later on, which is going to be like macros and all that good stuff, and a little bit more in depth on the positioning and healing. But other than that, just try this out, guys. I hope it helped. If you guys have any questions at all for me, make sure you just leave them in the comments because I'm pretty sure I missed something. But other than that, check out SMK and Tyrone. I ran BGs with Tyrone. SMK makes music, and by gosh, they make really good music. So make sure you check them out, as well as all the other people in my sub box, including ASB Sounds, Archetype, and F-777. They all make amazing music, so make sure you check them out as well. But other than that, check Tyrone out, and hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope to see you again. Take care, guys.